Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report right here on the Built-in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and X channels. I'm your host, Izzy, and we are discussing the Buffalo Bills' 40-9 victory over the Carolina Panthers. Let's talk about it. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Izzy, again, right here on the Built-in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and X channels. And the Buffalo Bills, coming off of a dominant destruction of the Carolina Panthers right here in the state of North Carolina where I live. They were in Charlotte. I was potentially going to be at the game, but wasn't able to acquire tickets, so I watched from home with my wife and brother, and it was a good day. It was a good day to be here and enjoying the game. Made some wings, didn't get to eat many of them yet, but after this, we'll put on the rest of the games and enjoy the snack. But yeah, it's good seeing the Buffalo Bills bounce back after, last 2 weeks of play where they struggled against the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots. The Buffalo Bills, our Buffalo Bills, went and had themselves a day. They played against the Falcons and the Patriots pretty poorly. They beat the hell out of the Saints. They beat the hell out of the Dolphins, Jets, and had that big comeback against the Ravens in week 1. And now the Buffalo Bills, they're back, baby. Sandra L. King, always in the comments. Welcome back, Sandra. Remember, YouTube. But I see you. It didn't start off great, but we got the big dubs. Yes, we did. The first quarter was pretty abysmal for both teams, but, the Buffalo Bills came back. Looking at everything and how it went, was pretty happy with their performance. Josh Allen, didn't have to do big things with his arm. He was 12-19 for 163 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice and had a passer rating of 108. So good, solid day from Josh Allen. He had 3 runs for 7 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. But the story of the day, was James Cook. 19 carries for 216 yards, 11.4 per carry, 2 touchdowns. Long of the day was 64 yards. I see my man Billy Batts in the comments, bro. Beat the worst teams in the NFL. The Panthers are 4-4 now, so that just literally doubled the win total of the teams that we've beaten. So, the Panthers are a mid-tier team. I wouldn't say they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, being 4-3 and being on a 3 or 4 game win streak going into this game, and not losing at home yet. So it's all good. Andy Dalton, yeah, and it's okay. We'll take the win. 40-9 says a lot, so we'll take that 31-point victory. We'll take that all day, every day. But James Cook he went off today. Like it's indescribable how that went with James Cook. Like he just carved that defense up. They had no chance of stopping him. And against the run today, the Bills only allowed 114 on the ground, 4.1 per carry. Rico Dowdle, 8 carries, 54 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 12 for 34. Trevor Etienne, 4 for 16. It was a rough day on the ground for the Panthers, and I think we expected for the Panthers to be able to run the ball better against the Bills' defense, but Hoyt came back from suspension, and he looked excellent out there. The Bills' defense totaled up 7 sacks today, which really brings that total up. Is freaking ecstatic about it. AJ Epinesa had a sack and an interception that he almost took to the house. Greg Rousseau had a sack. Michael Hoyt had 1.5 sacks, along with he shared one with Deion Walker, who's tearing it up the middle. Jordan Phillips had a sack today. With Ed Oliver going out with the potentially ruptured biceps, someone like Jordan Phillips might actually be elevated to the main roster because Ed, is going to be out. And Jordan Phillips is still a terror up the middle against the pass. Never really been good against the run, but against the pass, he's been pretty dang good for his whole career. And so if you bring up Jordan Phillips, I wouldn't be mad about it. They may go and look for somebody else. He may be out of elevations from the practice squad. Jordan Poyer also had a solid day today. Wasn't great today, but solid today. The kick return game, Ty Johnson had one return and Curtis Samuel did 1 for 23 for Curtis Samuel, 1 for 21 for Ty Johnson. Punt returns, Khalil Shakir had 2 for 8 yards, so nothing great going there. Matt Prater made both of his field goals, but he did miss his extra point, one of them. And that was surprising, but, it happens sometimes. They said to Epinesa, you couldn't get the TD. Yeah, he was a yard short of that TD, but the offense went out there and did their job, and they got that touchdown for him. It would have been nice to see him get that touchdown. If he catches that ball clean and doesn't struggle to bring it in, that's a touchdown on the pick. And that would have been his 3rd in his career, I believe. So Epinesa looking up. I know he's been in the talks of, trades among Bills fans. And I don't know if that's really something that we want to explore now that he's playing much better. And with Hoyt being back, it may make him somewhat expendable. But now that Ed Oliver's gone down, that kind of opens up a roster spot. If anybody is a trade target, for me, it'd be Curtis Samuel to unload that contract. But you never know. I mean, next year they can get out of his contract. So, it's basically a wait-and-see game. But solid day, Khalil Shakir, 6 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown. Touchdown, of course, him just making people miss and bouncing off tackles. It was a 54-yard reception. He was targeted 7 times and caught 6 of them. Keon Coleman, 3 catches for 30 yards. Not a big day for him, which he hasn't had a really big day in some time now. Keon Coleman, a lot of Bills fans are disappointed in the season he's having, and I'm sure he is too. He seems to beat himself up more than anybody else does. So I think that's a good, healthy thing for him to really be his own biggest critic. And I hope that he is able to, improve from there. But, come the fourth quarter, being up 40-9, the Buffalo Bills, pulled Josh, and Trubisky played most of the fourth quarter. And he threw, 4 passes, 2 of them complete, 22 yards. Nothing to write home about, but, he went out there and did what he had to do. I mean, basically the entire backup squad went in there. They put the backup offensive line in there. Spencer Brown stayed in, but Alec Anderson went in. Cedric Van Prandt-Granger went in. And as Greg Olsen said on the broadcast, they kind of ran away from the side that Spencer Brown was on so he wouldn't get rolled up on or anything like that. Not putting their starters at risk. Ray Davis was in there running the ball, and I mean, he's struggled most this year, Ray Davis. He had 9 carries for 16 yards. And James Cook, 19 carries for 216. I mean, you look at that, that's night and day. I mean, maybe Ray Davis isn't a fit for this offense, and, he could be somebody that they may trade later on or just ride him out. Maybe a Zach Moss situation there where he just doesn't fit, goes somewhere else, and then, he has a better career elsewhere. But Ray Davis is it's a little bit disappointing on his offense, and I don't think it's him being bad. I just think that this offense and him don't fit. I do like Ray Davis, though, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's working with him. But looking at the defense, I mean, solid day today for the defense. Dorian Williams, 8 tackles, 4 of them solo. Cole Bishop, 7 tackles, 3 of them solo. Joe Andreessen, 7 tackles, 2 of them solo. Jordan Hancock, 5 tackles, 2 of them solo. Jordan Poyer, 5 tackles, 1 of them solo. I mean, the tackling was excellent today by the Buffalo Bills defense. They didn't miss any tackles. They had themselves a day where there was nothing they could do wrong. They forced a lot of fumbles. I see you, Miss Nats. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. For those of you guys who don't know, that's Lance Nelson's mom. He's president of Built in Buffalo, and I met her, way back at one of the red and blue scrimmage games. So nice to see her always in the chat, always supporting Built in Buffalo. She's great. See, the wide receivers was horrible. Which wide receiver are you talking about? You gotta be more specific because Khalil Shakir had a day. So if you're talking about like Keon Coleman or anybody else, I mean, the only three wide receivers were targeted today: Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and Elijah Moore. No one else was even targeted at wide receiver. Dalton Kincaid was targeted 3 times, caught 1. Dawson Knox was targeted once, he caught it. Jackson Hawes was targeted 3 times, he caught 2 of them. But no other wide receivers were targeted other than Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Elijah Moore. So it was tough out there for the receivers, but the Bills were more focused on the run game than the passing game, obviously, with Josh Allen only throwing the ball 19 times. I think that they made a concerted effort to not, force passes, especially against a team like the Panthers where they don't really need to. Like, Josh doesn't have to put the ball in harm's way. He didn't have to throw it all over the place. Defense basically put the Buffalo Bills in position to where Josh could run it in and where, James Cook could just eat all over the place. So it was pretty good. See, we're going to be in trouble next week when we have a hard time running the ball because we are not that good, especially with good time or a good team. We'll see what happens there. I mean, the only good team we've lost to really was the Patriots. I mean, we lost to the Falcons. That sucked, but they're not good. We'll see what happens with the Chiefs. I mean, we beat them every year in the regular season, so I'm actually not that concerned about it. But, we'll see what happens. The Chiefs are a team that is kind of up and down this year too. They've been up the last 3 games, I'll tell you that. But I wouldn't sleep on this Buffalo Bills team, especially with the defense playing as good as they did today. The Bills defense got after the quarterback. They were unable to do that most this year, even though we were playing garbage teams. I mean, we played the Dolphins, and they really didn't get after Tua like that. He had people in his face, but it is what it is. Against the Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills defense had 0 sacks, right? And the Dolphins' offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. It's abysmal. And the Dolphins, their one win this year, I'm not sure if they won today or not because I really wasn't watching them. Today where is it? Today they beat the Falcons. Okay, so they had a bounce back game. They've beaten 2 teams this year. Good on them. They beat the Jets and the Falcons, which we lost to the Falcons, but we beat the hell out of the Dolphins. So we'll see. See, Bills losing to their daddy and Chiefs next Sunday. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. I like the confidence. I mean, good for you, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Dolphins or Bills and Chiefs, 4:25 next week. And the Chiefs are favorite. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I like the way our defense looked today, so we'll see. See, this game proved we need an elite wide receiver. I don't know if that's the case. We won 40 to freaking 9. I mean, granted, I wouldn't be against acquiring an elite wide receiver. I wouldn't be, against the Bills trying to pick up Brian Thomas, which is a rumor that he may be shopped, or a lot of Bills fans are looking at Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed. Shaheed is not really an elite wide receiver. He's kind of a one-trick guy. He can get down the field. He's fast. He's not really a crisp route runner. If I was to go after one of those 2 guys, it'd be a Chris Olave, who's got 2 more years on his contract if you include his 5th-year option. See, Patriots murdered Browns 32-13 over the Browns 6-2 or 6-2. Okay, I mean that's cool. They're supposed to beat the Browns. You know, it's the Patriots are a good team now that they have an actual coach, and that now they're acquiring talent, and now that Josh McDaniels is back there as the offensive coordinator, he's a damn good offensive coordinator. He's not really a good head coach, but yeah. The Bills faced the Panthers, and Patriots also put up 40 points. The Patriots put up 40 points against who? I'm confused here. The Bills play the Patriots again. We're probably going to beat them, so that's fine. I mean, let me see. The Panthers, they played 42-13 against the Panthers, and the Bills beat them 40-9. Similar games. And when the Bills lost to the Patriots, it was 23-20, I think, something like that. So not really concerned about the Patriots like that. We'll see them again. It'll be a good game. You know, competition in the division is usually a good thing. But the Bills aren't really concerned about winning the division like that anymore. We've won it 5 years in a row. We're more focused on trying to get to the Super Bowl and winning that thing. We're not trying to focus on division titles. Although division titles is the easiest way to advance in the playoffs. You know, you guaranteed a home game at least. If we can get to number one in the AFC, that would be great. But right now, the Colts are really holding it down. Surprise, surprise. You know, the Colts are currently the best team in football, which is insane to say because they've been pretty garbage the last few years. They bring Daniel Jones in, and all of a sudden, those guys are just dominating everybody they play. I mean, they're playing the Titans right now. It's 3-0, but we all know what's about to happen. The Colts are about to dog walk the Titans. And so that being said, Buffalo winning today helps. Now that they're 5-2, I'll take it. 5-2. You know, the Bills have been 4-2 most years. I think it's like 4 of the last 5 years they went 4-2 to start the year. A few years we've lost week 1. We almost did this year too, but we came back against the Ravens, who for some reason sucked this year. No real way to explain that away. They did beat the Bears, so that's a thing. But for the most part, they have been pretty garbage this year. God awful. And Tyler Huntley went out there and beat the Bears. What a game that was. Let's see. Roger Walsh in the building. They have to keep Cook in the game against KC. He's too dynamic to leave him on the sidelines. That's true. And I know a lot of fans are, worried about James Cook, getting injured. He doesn't take big hits. Like whenever he gets hit, it's usually like somebody picked an ankle or, he kind of goes down on his own if he knows that he's not going to get there. But for the most part, he is actually trucking people, which is wild for him at 190 pounds. If he's still at 190, I think he put some weight on because he doesn't look as small as he was when he was drafted, and he was 190 then. So I think that James Cook's probably got his weight up, probably closer to 200 pounds, maybe a little more. He looks a lot thicker, and he maintained his speed with that, so that's a good thing too. See, Cook has to stay in on third downs. I don't disagree there. Not all third downs, obviously, but you're paying the man, and you paid him like a workhorse, so you got to make him your workhorse. That's just the way it is. His blitz pickups have been better. Like he's done better blocking for the quarterback. Play action or simply just picking up a blitzer, linebacker or whoever it is coming for Josh. He's done a lot better at that this year than in previous years. And I think that him putting on a little weight, which is most likely the case, there's no confirmation of that. So that's just me speculating about him. But that seems to be something that has helped him improve with his pass blocking. So good on him. See, Bills have Chiefs, Patriots, and Eagles, while Patriots have Buccaneers and Bills. I'm not really worried about that. It's fine. Like if the Patriots win the division, okay. Get to the dance and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, if we beat the Patriots, that puts us right back neck and neck with them in the division. I'll be fine with that. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. The Eagles, Saquon's not really doing very well. I don't know what's going on with him. So we'll see the Eagles down the line. The Chiefs, not really that concerned about that, but it is what it is. See, thank you. Dolphins beating Falcons because we Patriots can beat the Falcons next Sunday. I mean, yeah, you can. It really depends on what Falcons show up, though. Like the Falcons are up and down. I don't know what the hell they're about. Like they beat us and then they lose to the Dolphins. Like I don't know what's what with the freaking Falcons. So they're a confusing team to me. Like they beat the Bills, they lose to the Niners, they lose to the Dolphins in their building. By the way, they lose to the Dolphins. They beat the Commanders, solid team, not great. They're actually having kind of a rough year. They beat the Vikings. I mean, I don't know what to make of the Falcons. They're a confusing team, right? Like the Jets aren't confusing; they just suck, right? The Jets suck. Let's just be clear about that. Let's be fair and honest. The Jets suck. The Dolphins suck. But oh shoot, the Jets won today. They beat the Bengals. Justin Fields had a solid day. Wow. 21 to 32, 244, a touchdown. Brees Hall threw a touchdown pass. Brees Hall, 18 for 133. Wow. Okay. The Jets had a bounce back game finally, but they're 1-7, so they're not really going anywhere. They still suck. And the Bengals without, a defense apparently because they scored 38 points and lost. Wow. Jeez. Flacco, solid day. 21-34, 233, 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine, 9 carries, 94 yards. Their offense was solid. So their defense sucked. But, when you don't have Trey Hendrickson, that tends to happen. See, how great was it to get those guys off suspension? It was huge for us. Yes, it was. Jim Graham, by the way, appreciate you being here again. Good to see you. Yeah, it was great to have Michael Hoyt out there. He looked like a demon on the defensive line. Like he was outstanding, right? And Deion Walker continues to play excellent ball. Like he's a guy who may turn out to be better pick than TJ Sanders, which TJ Sanders was a dog at South Carolina. He's injured currently, so I don't want to, put the cart before the horse, so to speak. But Deion Walker is making a case for, potentially an award. If he can get to the quarterback more often and get some sacks and continue with the TFLs, he could be in line for defensive rookie of the year if he sees more time. Like he deserved to see more time. At last week's show, I mentioned it. Deion Walker has earned playing time. He's earned the playing time. So let that man get out there and do what he does because he has been eating. Let's see. Excuse me. Deion Walker deserves more playing time. See, Barkley hamstring injury. Eagles are on a bye next week. Yeah, they probably need it too with him on a hamstring injury. Give him 2 weeks to heal up a little bit, because that sucks for them. But I'm also not concerned. If he's injured, then that's their problem, not ours. Yep, there they go. 1 second. Yep, my son just got home. He was out skateboarding. And every time someone opens the door, these dogs flip out. Yes, sir. Quiet. But yeah, Deion Walker, Michael Hoyt, Larry Ogunjobi. I know Ed Oliver went down. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. Hopefully, we shall see. But I'm just enthusiastic with how the defense played today, how they got after the quarterback, and a bicep injury for Ed Oliver is, painful. very painful to lose Ed Oliver to an injury like that. Hopefully, it's not for the year. But if he tore it or ruptured it, like some people are saying, like I saw it on X, the thigh doctor who he's always with on Joe Marino's show and talking about injuries and stuff. He said it looked like he potentially ruptured his biceps. If that happened, he's out for 3 months. That's the rest of the season. That's and the playoffs. So November, December, January, done. And so that would really be terrible to see. But if that's the case, you're going to see Jordan Phillips be elevated to the main roster. Now, 7 sacks was dominant. Yes, it was. It was dominant. And very, very proud of the defense making their strides. Like, again, Michael Hoyt getting out there at 1.5 sacks. One of them a strip sack of Andy Dalton. Deion Walker scooped it. He didn't get very far, but he scooped it. And so just the awareness and the ability to think on his feet. Deion Walker is just, again, one of my favorite players now. And I wanted the Bills to stay away from him. I wanted the Bills to go after, another corner in that 3rd round. They ended up doing that later on when they picked up Jordan Hancock, who's been playing very well for us on special teams. But, eventually he's going to get some looks at safety, I believe. Jordan Poyer went out there. He played decent. He didn't play like old school Jordan Poyer, but I don't think anybody expects him to play like old Jordan Poyer. We basically expect Jordan Poyer to kind of hold down the fort. And with him holding on the fort, eventually I think that Jordan Hancock's going to see some reps there, hopefully sooner rather than later. But, I'm here for it. I'm here for the young guys seeing the time. Cole Bishop, I think, continues to look better and better. He had some good tackles today. Let's see. Yeah, Cole Bishop again, 7 tackles today on defense. Man, it was a hell of a game, guys. It was a hell of a game, and Bills dominated, But I'm gonna go ahead and recap the rest of the 1 o'clock slate, and then we'll close the show. Solid day for us. So we're gonna go to NFL scores. So for the 1 o'clock slate, the Dolphins beat the Falcons 34-10. Tua was 20-26 for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Tua had himself a bounce back game. He did not turn the ball over today. Then you look at the Jets and the Bengals. They won 39-38. Justin Fields, again, 21-32 for 244 and a tutty. Breece Hall, 18 for 133 and 2 tutties. Yeah, crazy. Patriots beat the Browns 32-13. That was in New England. So the Browns visiting them. Drake May, 18-24 for 282 and 3 touchdowns. Trevion Henderson, 10 carries for 75 yards. I should have left him in on my freaking fantasy team. I took him out because he hadn't been playing a lot, and today he went off. Mac, and I didn't think he was going to go off against the Browns defense because that defensive line for the Browns is so stout. But, man, he went off. 10 carries, 75 yards. Mac Hollins, 7 receptions for 89 yards for them. The Giants got smoked by the Eagles 38-20, and they lost Cam Skattebo. He was carted off today. Cam Skattebo is a player who a lot of people are really excited about, and him going down sucks. He's such an exciting player. And you look at the Bears; they lost to the Ravens 30-16 in Baltimore. Caleb Williams, had himself a solid day. No touchdowns, but and 1 interception, but 25-38 for 285. Derrick Henry, 21 carries for 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rome Odunze, 7 receptions for 114. I mean, he's been having a nice second season. And then the 49ers lost to the Texans in Houston, 26-15. CJ Stroud had himself a day, 30-39 for 318, 2 touchdowns. Marks, running back for the Texans, 11 carries for 62 yards, and Hutchinson, wide receiver, 5 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown. Of course, the Thursday game, the Chargers smoked the Vikings. Justin Herbert went off on that game, and Kamani Vidal, 6th-round pick from last year. I think it was last year. He's not a rookie, is he? Nope, he was drafted last year in the 6th round out of Troy. Big back. He was actually cut before the season. And, man, he's come on strong. He's come on real strong. And so, yeah, good on him. They've lost Amarian Hampton, and they lost Harris, Najee Harris, who they got from the Steelers. So that's the 1:00 game slate currently. The Buccaneers and Saints are in the second quarter. The Bucs have the ball, and they're leading 7-0. The Broncos and the Cowboys are playing. They are in the first quarter, and the Broncos are winning 14-3. Surprise, surprise. The Colts are now up 10-0 on the Titans in the second quarter. Tonight's game is Packers-Steelers, which should be a good game. Aaron Rodgers returning to Green Bay to face his former team. Some would call it a revenge game. I don't know what he would be revenging, but, good for him. And we'll see what happens there. Hopefully the Packers win. The less, teams in the AFC with more wins is better. So root for the NFC guys. And that is the show, guys. Let's see. White looked good with Poyer back. He did. So that I mentioned that last week. I'm not going to conclude the show since we're going to go over some things here. The right side of the defense, or the strong side of the defense, looked a lot better, right? When we look at the Buffalo Bills with Taylor Rapp out there, whether it was the knee injury or whatever was causing it, he was playing poorly, right? With Jordan Poyer out there showing better play at safety, that side of the Buffalo Bills defense played so much better. They played so much better today. And so without having to play as if you don't have a reliable safety, you can trust the guy behind you because he knows where to be, and he can actually physically get there because he's not hindered by an injury. Tre'Davious White looked a lot better today, as did Christian Benford. I mean, it is the Panthers and Andy Dalton, but there it is. And as Sandra says here, Andy Dalton isn't mobile. Put pressure on him, he folds, and he did. He folded like a chair. It is what it is. Now we got to go and do that against the Chiefs. So that's the challenge. We'll see next week what happens. I'm going to kick back and enjoy that game. But until next week, guys, much love from your man here. And, enjoy the rest of the Sunday football. Tomorrow is Victory Monday. And we out. Take care, guys. Have a great day.